Hello everyone, my name is Morgan and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to tell you all about a movie that I have watched 4 times now and still makes 0 sense to me. This is the most confusing, nonsensical movie I have ever watched. The movie that I'm talking about is Alice and the Country of Hearts. Now, you may be saying, Morgan, there's an Alice in the Country of Hearts manga. The movie probably only makes sense if you read it. To which I would say, I did read it. It's the whole reason I watched this movie in the first place, because I read and enjoyed the manga. About the only advantage that I would have over someone who has never read the manga when watching this movie is the fact that I know the characters' names. That's it. In the 4 times I've watched this movie, I have never been able to figure out what the hell is going on in it. Everyone I've ever seen talk about this movie, they've got nothing good to say about it because it just makes 0 sense. As the title gives away, the series is, based on Alice in Wonderland. So, you're probably thinking, well, Wonderland doesn't make sense, so it makes sense that this movie would be confusing, right? At least in other movies based on Alice in Wonderland, you can still follow the plot and what's going on, despite the fact that Wonderland itself doesn't make sense. This movie, Wonderland doesn't make sense, and neither does the plot. So let's just jump into this movie, shall we? So the movie opens with Alice and Tweedledee and Tweedledum, who in this series are known as the Bloody Twins, being chased by some men in black. Already, kind of not feeling very Wonderland-like right off the bat. We're like opening up a movie about Wonderland being chased by the most generic men in black suits. Ah, yes, faceless, also known as NPCs. So then it immediately flashes to a completely different scene of the White Rabbit named Peter. And he starts talking about how games have rules and you have to follow them and you must participate in my game. Ooh. So that guy announcing the start of whatever this game is Nightmare, and he is basically the equivalent of the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland, but he only appears in your dreams. He's also, from what I remember in the manga, just sick all the time and just coughing everywhere, but they don't incorporate that into this movie, I guess, for some reason. So apparently this is all a dream, because then Alice wakes up in the real world with her sister and tells her about her weird dream about a game, and her sister takes this in the weirdest way. She's basically like, oh, that is a reflection of what you really want. That means you want to play a game. We're going to play a game right now. Come on, let's go. I'm going to get a game. We're playing a game, Alice! We never get to see what game that is, because now we're back to the Bloody Twins committing murder. But that doesn't last long, because now we're having another flashback to before this all started. Basically, the Bloody Twins are supposed to be taking Alice to this ball, but instead the Bloody Twins wanted to play a game. What game did they want to play? Tag. How are they gonna get this game started? The only way you can. By murdering a couple of those men in black so that they'll chase them and Alice around. So we're back to the chase at this ball, and Alice has reached the top of this staircase, and there's nowhere for her to go. What's she gonna do? Huh, yes, that's right, you did just see the Bloody Twins turn into full-grown men. This is apparently an ability the Bloody Twins have where they can just turn into full-grown men sometimes, and I think the only reason they have this ability is so that in the Otome game that they created, that people could thirst over them without it being weird. But let's be honest, it's still pretty freaking weird. Anyway, now that the boys are men, I guess that means that they can pick up Alice and jump straight off the top of this staircase. As Alice is following, we have another flashback. Are you guys getting whiplash yet from all these flashbacks? Because I know I am. This is a flashback to when Alice first falls into Wonderland with Peter. Oh, well, if you say so. Alright, Peter, you just contradicted what you just said. That was pretty freaking weird. So Peter kisses Alice to get her to drink this potion in a vial. Alice drinking this potion is what starts off the game. Basically, Alice can only leave Wonderland if she drinks that potion again. But now the vial is empty and the potion is gone. And the only way for her to get it filled back up is for her to interact with the other members of Wonderland. But the movie explains none of this to you, and instead you see this funky card animation. It is then followed by Alice realizing that the vial that she's supposed to be filling up has completely disappeared. The movie then thinks that this is now the perfect time to explain to you how Wonderland works. Wonderland has 2 groups of people, the Faceless, aka the NPCs, and the Role Holders, aka the main characters. Wonderland is split into 4 different territories, each run by role holders. The first territory is the Castle of Hearts, run by Vivaldi, the Queen of Hearts. The other role holders that live here are Peter, the White Rabbit, and the Knave of Hearts, Ace. Next is the amusement park, run by Marigoland. That's right, his name is Marigoland, and it is meant to sound like merry-go-round. The other role holder that lives here is the Cheshire Cat, Boris, and if when you looked at him, you thought thought to yourself, I bet people thirst over him, you would be right. Next territory is the clock tower, run by Julius. In Wonderland, people don't have hearts, they have clocks in their chest instead. Julius's job is to fix those clocks. And finally, we have the Hatter's Mansion, run by none other than the Mad Hatter himself, Blood. Except he's nothing like your typical Mad Hatter because he's just a freaking mob boss. The other role holders that live here is the March Hare Elliot, who is my favorite in the manga, but gets no screen time in this movie, and the Bloody Twins. We know those guys already. Hatter's Mansion is also where Alice is staying on this lovely trip to Wonderland. Alright, enough of that mumbo jumbo, back to the ball! Ah, that's right, we were falling to our death. Forgot about that. I guess this is why the Bloody Twins had to turn into adults, because otherwise when they landed on the ground, it would have crushed their tiny little legs. They needed their strong man legs to land on the ground after a 300-foot drop. Oh, look at this, 15 minutes in and we've got an anime opening. Thank God, I need a break after the whiplash of all those flashbacks. Alright, break's over, we're back in the thick of it. Alice is chasing Peter across a bridge of cards, but she falls and lands in front of Nightmare. Now, as we know from before, Nightmare only appears in your dreams, which means that this is a dream. When did that dream take place? I don't know, because now we're back at the ball and Alice is having a lovely dance with Blood. But don't get too comfortable here, because now we're having a flashback to Alice's past, where her sister stole Alice's dream man, who eerily looks a lot like Blood. Oh, but don't get too comfortable again, because now we're at this door, and Peter is there telling us to enter, because we will find happiness inside. But all that's inside is the Joker with a balloon. Okay, weirdo. Peter, if this is your idea of happiness, I don't want it. So we're back at the ball that will never end again, and all the main characters show up. We sort of get an idea of what their personalities are like. They talk with Alice. One of the characters that shows up is, of course, Ace, and he has quite the entrance. Ace steals Alice away, but Peter's having none of it because he wants to make out with Alice. Holy shit, Peter's got a gun! So naturally, the only way for Peter to get Alice back is for him to shoot at Ace with the gun, which then results in Alice falling off the chandelier into Julius's arms. And with that, the ball is finally over. What a time. Am I right, guys? And you may be wondering, what was the point of that ball? I have no clue. None whatsoever. Anyways, the ball's over and Alice is talking with Peter about how she lost her vial, and Peter tells her that you can't lose the vial. It will appear to her eventually. Alice starts wondering whether she wants to actually go home to her sister or stay here in Wonderland, so she talks to Julius about it. Thanks, Julius, you're no help. Ouch, that hurts. Fine, Julius, I never liked you anyway, you're boring. So now there's a meeting with the leaders of each of the territories inside this clock. Are we really sure we want him ruling one of the territories of Wonderland? It's kind of weird. So Elliot shows up instead of Blood and tells everyone that Blood is too busy to make it, which pisses everyone off for some reason. You know, I wonder what Blood is busy doing. After Blood's lovely evening with the mob boss, he walks home. That's when the Joker shows up again and starts doing some Peter Pan shit with his shadow. The Joker attacks Blood and tells him that he broke the rules, but Blood says that he has no idea what he's talking about and runs away through this door, which conveniently leads him back to Hatter's Mansion. Alice is waiting for him here and asks him if she can stay a little longer, to which he agrees. Now you may be thinking, you know, that beginning, it was a hot mess. But, you know, the past few scenes, it seems like there's kind of been somewhat of a coherent plot going on. Well, unfortunately, that is all about to be ruined right before your eyes, because we now have the most pointless scene in the entire movie. Vivaldi and Peter are holding trials for people who have wronged Vivaldi, but they're on trial for really ridiculous things. Vivaldi is sentencing them all to death, but Alice shows up and begs her to let her do the trials instead since Vivaldi is tired. Vivaldi agrees and Alice gives everyone a second chance rather than killing them. Peter, please, back up! What did I tell you about personal space? Now we are over 40 minutes into the movie now. I know, shocking, considering nothing has happened so far. And that scene with the trials went on for nearly 10 minutes. 10 minutes! I was able to describe that whole scene to you in 2 minutes and it went on for 10. That is far too long for this pointless scene. I mean, at the end of the scene, Alice tells Peter that she still can't find the vial for the potion. Peter tells her that time goes back and forth in Wonderland, and so does the vial, which means it'll show up to her eventually. So I guess the point of that scene was for them to have that conversation. But do we really need the 10 minutes of trial before that for them to have that conversation? Because I don't think so. So when Vivaldi left the trials, she went to this elevator and it took her to Julius. What the hell? Why is Vivaldi suddenly a child? Like, what is happening? Vivaldi continues on her way up the elevator and turns into an adult again, and she stops at this garden party hosted by Blood. This is probably a good time to mention that Vivaldi and Blood are actually siblings. Blood and Vivaldi talk at the party, and Nightmare shows up. Nightmare tells them that they broke the rules, and Blood and Vivaldi basically say, "Fuck you, Nightmare, we don't care," and they get back in the elevator. So the elevator stops on a floor that shows them their childhood, when Vivaldi had to leave Blood to go be queen. But I don't really know what the point of that is, or why they wanted to stop and see that, because then they just keep on going. On the way down, one of the floors turns into a Joker floor, and then this happens?
出られるさ。鍵ならここにある。
小瓶がなくなってしまったの。
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. I don't know what any of that means. And you never get the answer to it either. Blood and Vivaldi get out of the elevator and the Joker appears and starts messing with them. Blood and Vivaldi really don't care about anything this Joker is saying and basically just tell him everything is meaningless.
お前と話すことこそ最も意味がない。
Oh shit! Now Vivaldi's got a gun! Oh, well, the Joker's dead. I guess that means this god-awful movie is over. Oh, god damn it, he's back! And who's that man with Joker?
どうするよ、エース。
Oh my god, it's Ace!
捕らえられないものは処刑するしかない。
Oh no, Ace is on the loose and ready to murder. Awesome. Blood and Vivaldi get back in the elevator, see a flashback of Alice's past on one of the floors, but keep going and get off somewhere else. They start talking about how things are meaningless again, and I was really trying to figure out if there was any substance to this conversation, or anything important to the plot at all, but I got nothing. This whole conversation was just meaningless. Hey, see what I did there? Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here all week. I haven't seen Alice in a while, so I wonder what she's up to. Hard at work, I see.
嬉しいよりも寂しくなる。
No, not the ice cream! Oh, and Boris is gone. But the ice cream! So Joker suddenly appears and offers Alice a balloon, then sends her into the mirror maze. Nightmare appears in one of the mirrors and pulls her into it, which then teleports her to a maze. In this maze, she chases Peter around and it eventually leads her back to the amusement park. It's really crowded and she sees Blood and tries to follow him into a circus tent. The Joker is in the circus tent, but would you look at that? Boris is back! No, just kidding. That's a balloon. And now Alice is inside a vial. No, she's outside of it, and now she's drinking it and getting small, and now she's in a forest. I have no clue what just happened. Alice wanders throughout this forest until she comes to a fork in the road and debates whether or not she wants to stay in Wonderland or go back home. Now all of a sudden, Alice is on that Joker floor from before, and would you look who's here?
近寄らないで。
どうして逃げるんだ？
I don't know, Ace. Maybe it's the fact that you're covered in blood and have clocks, aka people's hearts in this world, around your neck.
女性に狼藉を働くとは感心しないな。狼藉なんて働いていないよ。
Would you look at that? It's Blood, our knight in shining armor.
じゃあ俺が下がるよ。
Why are we in the circus? What happened? How did we get here? I'm confused. Again. So Alice is now pinned to this board and has become a target for these weird knife-throwing children. And Ace and Blood are a bit too preoccupied to care. Would you look at that? It's Blood, our knight in shining armor again! So Ace suddenly realizes that he's the bad guy and he doesn't like that.
紳士でなくてもいいんだけど、悪者になるのは嫌だな。じゃあまたな、アリス。
Are you kidding me? That's all it took to stop you. Was for you to realize that you're actually the bad guy. Okay, I guess. Back at the fork in the road, Alice thinks back on her time in Neverland. Such good memories, right? Let's think back on them with Alice.
落ちてばっかりなの。
お前はこの世界にふさわしくない。
もうやめて。
Fun times. Alice walks home hand in hand with Blood, and back at the mansion, Blood says,
おかえり、アリス。
confirming that Alice has decided to stay in Wonderland for some strange reason. I don't really know what caused her to change her mind. There's nothing here in this movie showing me what convinced her to stay. And that is Alice in the Country of Hearts. Did that movie make any sense to you? Because it definitely didn't to me. This is the 4th time I've watched that movie, and I still get none of it. I'm left with so many questions. What rules did Blood and Vivaldi break? Why was the Joker there? And why did he keep messing with Alice? Why was Ace working for him? What did half of those flashback sequences even mean? I don't get it. I never have. I don't think I ever will. And I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again. Considering every time I have watched it, I've just been hoping that at some point it'll make sense to me. And 4 watches in, I don't think it's ever going to make sense. So guys, let me know, did this movie make any sense to you? Have you watched it? Will you watch it? You probably shouldn't. I would not recommend it. And that will do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!